Is your injury going to keep you out of the World Championship?
Yeah, I think that's something that more important for me to get healthy. Obviously, I think I was looking forward to competing in the World Championships. Always nice representing your country, but something that probably going to be a few weeks, and probably just smarter to get healthy for next season and make sure I'm ready to go.
Will it interfere with your summer workouts, or should you be okay?
No, it shouldn't. I'm going to take some time here, rest, heal up, and make sure I have a good summer to get back on track.
What was your reaction, Tage, to the news yesterday?
Yeah, obviously disappointing. Obviously, me and Donnie have a great relationship, and we go back, and I've got nothing but respect and admiration for him, and I think I owe him a lot to what he's done for me, to get me to this point in my career, and it's unfortunately that's the nature of the business, and I think everyone knows that that's kind of part of it, and it is what it is. It's sad to see him go, but I know he's gonna have success elsewhere.
How did he make? I mean, we all know he moved you to center. I mean, he gave you more opportunity. But just, in your own words, how did he, really get the best out of you?
I think the biggest thing was him just believing in me, giving me opportunity. I think prior to that, I hadn't really gotten an opportunity to be put in a situation to score or produce, and I think he knew that was something that I had in me, and had seen it before and knew that I could do it at this level, and he gave me every opportunity to make sure it happened, and lucky enough to take advantage of it. And I think for me, I think it was just that relationship that we had, that confidence he had in me.
Tage, what's the biggest thing you guys need to do in the wake of the last 2 years when you've been close and on the cusp of getting in? How do you guys make a breakthrough?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's one thing you can pinpoint. I think there's obviously a lot of things that go into it. But I think if you're looking at, probably two things that need to be corrected is accountability. I know that word gets thrown around a lot. And I think for me, accountability is consequences and actions. If you're not doing right things on the ice, there needs to be repercussions, whether it's being benched or in the press box. If you're not playing winning hockey, and I think consistency is the other thing. I think at times you could see that we were a great team, and other times we're too casual. And I think that's something that has got to be instilled in us, and that kind of goes back to the accountability thing as well. With the consistency, it's us in here in the room holding each other accountable if there's someone not playing the way they need to, and obviously needs to come from up top too. And that's something I don't think we had enough of this year.
What would you like to see from the next coach of this team?
I think two of those things that I mentioned. I think accountability. I think obviously I'm in a situation where I've been given a lot of opportunity and a pretty big rope to try things and do stuff out on the ice and let my skill kind of take over. But at the same time, there needs to be repercussions. If I'm playing a game that's hurting our team, then I need to have repercussions for that, and that goes down the list. But it starts with me, and I think a lot of times this year we got away with some stuff that we shouldn't have gotten away with, and I think if you clean those things up, then it sends a message, and once that message is sent, then there's no reason to deviate from that game plan. I think we felt comfortable maybe sometimes a little too much deviating from game plans.
Tate, when you got your hand healthy, was that when you kind of took off? I think your last 18 games or so, you were on about a 43-goal pace. Did you just need to get that to a point where you could play your best?
I think I maybe came back a little early, for sure. Obviously, it sucks being out and missing time, and you want to be back helping the team. And maybe I jumped back a little too early when I wasn't ready. I knew it was going to take me a little bit to get back to myself, and it's unfortunate that happened. And I would have liked to get to my game a lot quicker than that. But I think that obviously is a contributing factor, but at the same time, I got to find a way to impact the game if pucks aren't going in. For me, that's being physical, being good defensively. There's plenty of ways that I can contribute. But yeah, for sure, that's something that I was battling, and obviously feeling good now. So.
Tage, we've seen here over the years where if sometimes there is a coaching change, you bring, somebody's brought in who maybe has a style that doesn't fit the group. I mean, would you really like to see somebody who wants to tailor the whatever systems that you guys play to fit what you have in this room, but just maybe tweak whatever it be, accountability, more structure, those sort of things? Because, I mean, I know systems are systems across the league, but there are some times where the styles of play can be polarizing, for example.
Yeah, I think structure is great, and I think that's something we need more of. And as far as a structure that kind of tailors towards our game, I think we're a high flying offensive team. I think we got a little bit away from that this year. But at the same time, the offense, it can come and go. Like goal scoring it's hard to score goals in this league, and sometimes you get cold and sometimes you get real streaky, but you need that structure to fall back on. And I think when you have that structure, it frees up a lot of your other components of your game. Whatever they're going to bring in, obviously Kevin has a good pulse on this room and knows what we need, and he's going to do his job. And I think for us, it doesn't matter what system they implement. It's just making sure that everyone on the ice is committed to that system and that structure. I think this year we didn't really have enough structure, so there was nothing really to kind of point to. But I think whatever is implemented, as long as everyone in the room is committed to it, then you have something to point to and, correct if you stray from it.
As you've said, accountability is a buzzword that's being thrown around a lot, and you referenced benching or time in the press box. That can come from a coach, but what does player accountability look like going into this offseason before a new coach is installed?
I think in our room we have a really tight locker room, guys that are very close with each other, bonds that are very, very tight, and I think that's pretty special. That's not something that a lot of teams can say. But at the same time, when you have those bonds, you don't want to upset or ruffle any feathers. And I think we need to be okay with calling guys out if they're not. Obviously, it's coming from a place of love and that underlying belief that they have better and you just want to see the team succeed and you want better from them and better for them. And I think everyone in here understands that, and that's something that we got to be okay with doing.
And like you said, with sometimes a rope too long or no structure, it's hard to point to something like that. But, one thing Granato did bring is a sense of confidence and freedom for you guys to find your game. So how do you retain that and internalize that confidence going forward when maybe you've got a different presence on the bench?
Well, I think something that Donnie has given us is that confidence in ourselves individually. I think you look around the room, there's a lot of young guys in here, a lot of skill, and guys that have grown their game since he's been here, and I think that's a big reason because of the way that we played. And I think we're at a point now where that confidence isn't an issue. I think everyone in here believes in themselves and knows what they're capable of and where they can get to in their career. And I think now that you have that belief and that internal awareness of your game, I think now there is that accountability factor that you need to have something tangible you can point to and say, hey, you weren't doing this, and there needs to be discipline if you're not. And I think that's something hopefully that we'll have moving forward, and I think we will. And if not, that's something that the guys in this room need to make sure that we have.
Is it important for this team not to get younger? And I know Kevin said he wants experience behind the bench. Do you think that maybe it would help to have some more experience in the lineup as well?
Well, I think we definitely have a young team. I definitely don't think having some veteran guys would hurt. But like I said, he's going to do what he does, and our job's to get on the ice and play. And whatever roster or lineup that he puts together, that's his job. Our job is to go out and compete, and I think whatever structure, whatever message you want to send to the team, at the end of the day, you're playing hockey and you're lining up against 5 other guys, and it comes down to how bad do you want to win this battle, how bad do you want to win this game, and that's kind of what it's all about. I mean, you can point to a lot of other things, but it at the end of the day, it turns to the guys in the room and myself looking in the mirror, and this year wasn't good enough. and I have to be way better. And I think there's a lot of other guys in this room that need to be way better.
When you look at Washington sneaking into the last spot, a team you beat twice this month, I mean, how much of a lost opportunity does this whole season feel like?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think that's why we're here in this position, is because going back to the inconsistency. And I think for me, the biggest thing is you see how long of a season is and how much can change over the course of the season. I think for us, a lot of the frustration maybe we let come from outside noise. I mean, I think we're at certain points in the season where we're being counted out and there's 60 games left. It's a long season. A lot can change as you see it comes down to the wire. And I think we got to just do our best to block out that noise and just focus internally on the room and not really let any of that get to us, because at the end of the day, it is a long season and a lot can change, especially the last 5-10 games.
Is that something that should push an athlete, though? I mean, like you say, to hear the outside noise count you out. I mean, isn't that something that should push a pro athlete to ignore and just work harder?
I mean, my belief is negativity breeds negativity. I think outside noise does nothing good. It's at the end of the day, it shouldn't impact you at all, good or bad. That's the fact of the matter. It should only matter what the guys in this room believe. But at the same time, you sometimes hear that and it trickles in, and once it trickles in, sometimes it's hard to block out. So, yeah, that's something that we have to be better at moving forward, is just making sure that the only opinions that matter are the ones in this room.
Paige Rasmus said that you guys struggled with handling the pressure this year, that it was a big learning curve for you guys this year with looking to make a playoff push. With you guys getting so close to making the playoffs last year, why was that something that you guys still struggled with this year, and how do you go about either addressing that in the offseason or in the early part of next season to making sure that's not something that happens again?
I mean, pressure is inevitable. That's kind of what we signed up for, is, we all want to be professional hockey players and we want to win. And if you want to win, there's expectations on you to win. And I think for us handling that pressure, it's not something that's easy, because we all put pressure on ourselves and have expectations. And then on top of that, there's expectations from people on the outside. And obviously everyone in this room wants to win and wants to be successful. So when you don't meet those expectations, it's disappointing. And that's kind of the situation we found ourselves in the last few years. As this group, I say last few years because that's pretty much the guys in this room that have been here. Obviously, it's been a lot longer than that. And that's where we understand the frustration from the fans. And we just want them to know that we're tired of losing. It's not a fun thing to do, and those expectations, they've risen since last season, and we thought that we could exceed those expectations, and obviously we came short this year. So it's a tough pill to swallow, and I think it just leaves you hungry moving forward to not let it happen again.
Kevin mentioned that, training camp may have sort of been the start of some of the issues early in the season, just the consistency and getting off to a slow start. Coach aside, how do you think you guys as players need to better handle, showing up in September and being ready to go?
Yeah, I think it's a hard, long season. There's no freebies. There's no easy games, and it's important to get off to a good start. And this year we didn't get off to a good start, and I think it kind of goes back to just looking yourself in the mirror and making sure that you're better. And it starts with me, and making sure I have a good off season, making sure that training camp ready to go and get off to a good start so we're not chasing.
How have you seen JJ Peterka level up this year?
Yeah, he's taking great steps. I think that, talk about the confidence and opportunity, and he's got a lot of opportunity this year, and I think everything that he got this year he earned. He's been a great player for us. He's produced. He's someone that works hard, competes. He's hungry to score goals, and I think those are all great qualities. And I think that's a big piece as someone that we needed to take that next step. And there's a few other guys that we need to continue to take steps. And guys that we need to be better, and I think he definitely made strides this year.
Across the NFL, across the NHL and the NFL, but we talk about coaches, players, coaches. Talk about some of those guys, talk about some guys that push at practice a little harder, not such player coaches. Does that exist, and what would you want for this locker room?
As far as guys pushing practice,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's got to be everybody. It doesn't matter if you wear a letter or not. That's kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about the accountability. If guys are cheating or not as sharp as they need to be, it needs to be said and not go unchecked. I think you're doing your teammate and your team a disservice if you're not saying anything. So I think it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the most vocal guy on the team, whether you're the least vocal guy. I think as long as you're doing it yourself, you have the right, in my opinion, to say something.
and this is just me, because I don't know everything about it, but you go back and Lindy Ruff's name's been tossed around, and, next coach. I did his practices back then, they're like 2-hour practices, they were grinds. And then you look now, and then you guys are about 45, 50 minutes. Is that across the NHL now, do you know that? I don't know, so.
Yeah, I'm not aware. I know certain teams, they have different durations they like to do. Some teams, they go a little longer. Some teams go shorter. It depends on the coach, depends on the sports science team they have. There's a lot more that goes into it behind the scenes. Some teams have proven track records being better with less practice. It varies, so can't really speak on that too much.
Tage, we heard Alex and Rasmus both talk about just Zach Benson and his rookie season. What have you noticed from him so far, and just to take away from the type of year he had?
Yeah, he had a great year. I think to step in at 18 and do what he did is very impressive. Says a lot. It's a difficult league and a very difficult league to put up points, and I thought with what he was given this year, he's done a great job, and someone who definitely doesn't lack confidence and didn't shy away from the challenge of playing against grown men every single night. I like the way he plays, and he's got a bit of an edge to his game, which I think is great and something that I think makes him good. So
A lot of guys are going to be going through a coaching change for the first time. How do you hope guys handle that?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I mean, unfortunately I've gone through a few now, and I would like to say that each time it kind of lights a fire under you because it shows you that you're replaceable. That's kind of the business you're in. So hopefully the response is intensity, and I think comfort can be the death of you. I think we were a little too comfortable this year. So hopefully that's a little bit something that happens as an effect of the coaching change.